Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. This is Scott K. Today we'll be covering an interesting new linear switch in the market that is actually not made by JWK. This is the Mint linear switch made by Tecsee and introduced by a new vendor called Dinokeys. The aqua green coloration is very reminiscent of turquoise teleos, with the exception of the translucent white stem in the center. It's a 5-pin switch with standard stem pole length and standard 4mm travel distance. Here is a closer look at the switch torn down. As mentioned before, the housing is a minty aqua green, which I find very visually pleasing, made of standard polycarbonate. The stem is interesting. It is made of ultra-high molecular weight polyethylene, also known as UHMWPE. It is a highly slick thermoplastic with a very low coefficient of friction. The spring is a standard stainless steel 68-gram spring. This is meant to be a premium switch, and hence it costs about 70 cents per switch at the time of this review. For our sound tests, we'll be using a GMMK Pro with brass plate and GMK keycaps. Let's start with a quick stock typing test. Not bad. Now we're going to do some individual switch sound tests. We're going to start with the stock Mint linear and move on to some similarly priced competitors. Now, we're going to compare that with a lubed and filmed Mint linear, then followed by various other lubed and filmed linear switches in the 55 cent to 75 cent category. Some Gateron Ink Blacks. Some C3 Tangerines. The JWK Mauve. The Durock Palm. The NK Cream. I felt like the new Mint Linear had a very similar sound signature as the Gateron Ink Black, so here's a side-by-side comparison of the two switches. Let me know what you think. Here is a very non-scientific stem wobble test. First up is the north and south wobble. The Gateron Ink Black is about average with some wobble evident in the north and south direction. As expected, the Tangies are very tight tolerance and you see barely any north and south stem wobble. Mauves are also similar as well, not as good as the Tangie but still very good control north and south. The Durock Palm I feel is the most comparable to the Tangies with very tight tolerances here and very slippery UHMWPE stem. Similar UHMWPE stem but definitely more evident in the north and south wobble here. And finally, as we already know, Cream does have quite a bit of wobble north and south. Here is the same test, but this time in the east and west direction. Gateron inks do have a pretty average level of east and west wobble. Tangies, once again, very tight tolerances here. Mauves are also pretty good, not as good as Tangie, a little bit more east and west than north and south. Now moving on to Durock Palms, I think this is the only other linear switch that rivals the Tangie in terms of stem wobble. Same UHMWPE stem, but once again, the Mint Linear does show quite a bit of east and west, as well as the NK Creams do have quite a bit of east and west stem wobble. I created a quick and dirty switch performance comparisons table so I could lay out the various metrics into a single view for you guys. The criteria are as follows: stem wobble, loose to tight, smoothness from scratchy AF to buttery like BTS, sound, quiet to clacky, pitch, deep to high, and finally cost from mid to high. The ratings are solely my opinion, and your experience and your interpretation of these various switches may differ from mine. First up is the stem wobble. As you just saw from the clip before, Tangerines and the Durock Palms lead this area, with a very tight tolerance and very low wobble in either axis. The Mauve is right up there as well, followed by the Gateron Ink Black as about average. The NK Creams and the Mint Linears are on the looser end, and I feel that this is an area that perhaps the Mint Linear could be improved upon in the future. Next up is the smoothness. This is an area that many hold in high importance for these premium switches. This is up for debate, but I still feel that the Tangies are still one of the smoothest around. The UHMWPE stems in both the Durock Palm as well as the Mint Linear really shine here with very smooth operation. The Gat Inks and Mauves follow right behind with respectable smoothness as well. Finally, the NK Cream follows the rest at the back of the pack. Now moving on to sound. As expected, the NK creams register as the clackiest switch of the group, which they are known for and also sought after for. The Durock palm is also right up there, with a similar long stem pull design creating that solid clack that many look for. The Tangies and Mauves are about at the middle of the pack, followed by the Gateron Ink Black and the Mint Linears for the most subdued sound. I was actually surprised that the Mint Linears came in the most mellow, even besting the Gateron Ink here. For the pitch, I think there is no surprise to say that the Tangies are the highest pitch switch of the group. Then the NK creams follow suit right after, with Mauves coming in pretty close afterwards. The Durock palm is about the middle of the pack, not really too high or low. As expected, the Gateron Ink Black is known for its deep thock. The surprise is that to my ears, the Mint Linear actually had the lowest pitched sound of the group. I feel that the UHMWPE stem tends to lower the pitch of the switch, as evidenced here by the Mint as well as the Durock palm. Finally, the only objective evaluation of the switches, the price. At the time of this review, the Gateron Ink Black is the highest at 75 cents per switch. The Durock palm and the Mint Linears are right behind at 70 cents per switch. The Tangies and NK Cream are going for around 65 cents a switch right now. That is if you could find the Tangerines in stock. Finally, the Mauves are the lowest priced at 55 cents, which by no means is cheap, but it's about 50% cheaper than the Gateron Ink Blacks right now. I hope this chart helps to put things into perspective and helps you choose the right linear switch for your needs. How does the Mint Linear sound when lubed and filmed? Let's finish this with a final typing test. What do you think? Do you feel that the pretty packaging and the UHMWPE stem makes the Mint Linear worthwhile for you at 70 cents? There definitely is some opportunities to tighten up the stem tolerance a bit, but I feel that this was a good attempt for Tecsee and Dinokeys to introduce a buttery smooth premium linear with a deep sound profile similar to the Gateron Ink Black. As usual, if you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe and I will have more content for you in the future. Thanks.